feet are parallel to each other. Place your hands to your low back area. What feels like the stronger side? As you breathe in, just feel like what side seems to lift more fully into the palms of your hands. Bend your knees just slightly. Take your thighs back. And now you get a little bit more curve through that action. You get more curve in the lumbar spine. Now do the same. Breathe in to the palms of the hands. Hug your elbows in. Just draw yourself down into a forward fold a little bit deeper. So you're just coming down toward the floor, but we're not rounding the spine. We're not making it shorter. We're just kind of checking in to see which side is our full side, our dominant side. Which side do we need to bring a little bit more breath, a little bit more power, a little bit more fire to? Inhale, lift yourself up. Now, with that knowledge, keep the breath really flowing. If possible, have the sensation that you can just breathe into that side that could use that fire, that fullness. Again, parallel your feet. Take your hands to the low back or to that kidney area with the palms right in that area right below the ribs. Spread your fingers like they're fanning toward your pelvis. Bend your knees. Take the thighs back. Lead with your heart as your elbows hug in. Just soften down. You don't want to go too deep. Just want to go to this place where you can find maybe an evenness develop between the sides. A nice fullness on one side compared to the other. Pull your legs in toward each other to inhale and lift yourself up. Release back to Tadasana. So step back to Tadasana, I should have said, and pause there with your feet parallel. Tadasana, as you know, is Tada is a mountain, right? It's a stable structure. And as you root down from the pelvis to the feet, you feel that stability. Keeping that stability, let's find a little freedom in the upper body. So take your hold of your right wrist, and as you do, just reach over to the side. Just find that fullness there. Breathe into it. Now, just move just slightly forward so that you can get to a different area, those paraspinal muscles, so that you can get just now an understanding of a slightly different area. Inhale, root down to rise up. Release your hands and just notice. Notice lengthening quality you feel on one side compared to the other. Take your hand at your wrist and draw over. Draw over to expand really fully. And as we're learning more and more about the body, about the spine, the neuromuscular system, really understanding how this affects a lot of the organs, how it affects the mind, and how it affects so many of our activities in sports, for example, and release down. Although we're not engaged deeply in any sport, we feel imbalances, in our practice. We feel imbalances, and it's through this subtle awareness that you can really go deeper in the practice. Let's come to lying down on our side. Lying down on our side to do what we call the clamshell, right? So as you just draw down, just hold on to your head for a minute. Just prop up your head so that you can kind of see what's going on. With your feet together, inhale, just lift your knee away from the bottom leg. So just draw. You've probably done this quite a bit in other venues, like physical therapists love doing this. Now that you know what we're doing in this clamshell, let your head rest on your extended arm. Press the inner edges of your feet firmly toward each other. And inhale, slowly lift your top knee up. And you feel this nice engagement of the glutes, and exhale down. And so sometimes just by engaging the muscles that support the pelvic area, that allows us, once again, to get strength on one side or the other. Just keep this action, lifting the knee up and drawing it down. So you get this nice fullness here to the action. Lift the knee up and draw it down. And just kind of bring your awareness to what's happening on this side, so that when we go to the opposite side, we can make a comparison. You can compare, like, what side felt like, oh, this is easy to do. That could be the dominant side here for you. Your legs just are much more engaged. Your glutes are more engaged. And, that is like your biggest muscle, the gluteus, right? You want to, it's a really strong muscle. And just knowing its strength on one side compared to the other really will start to give you some clues about how your spine could be pulled on the dominant side compared to the other. Let's come to the opposite side. You can just roll over now that you know what we're doing. You don't necessarily have to look at your monitors here. You can just start on the opposite side with with your feet pressing in toward each other, and just slowly lift up the leg. And as you lift up the top leg really slowly and down, you find, oh, this side feels pretty easy, but after you do a few rounds, you start to get a little tired here. So just find out for you, like, what side is the easier side? What side do you have a little bit more strength? That you can just do many, many rounds of this. So that through that, you can remember, this is an easy one to do in your bed before you get up. You can remember, oh, this side was a little bit harder than the other side for me. I think before I wake up, before I get out of bed, that is, I'll just work that one side that felt like it could use a little bit more strength. And that's the way to take the yoga practice into your day, into your daily activities, to create some equipoise, some balanced action in the body. And now one more cycle, and slowly release. Let's lie on your back with your knees bent and with your feet planted. Just pause here. Let's do a very symmetrical pose here. So with your pelvis planted, with your elbows planted, inhale, lift your pelvis up and get a nice fullness there in the breath. Get this nice solid foundation in your feet. Open your heart nicely and slowly take your pelvis down to the mat. Let's do that again, a few cycles here. Press your elbows down, Press your feet firmly. This time, not only are your feet pressing down, but they're drawing in toward your pelvis. It's a very kind of strange action, but as if your feet are moving toward your pelvis. Get that so your hamstrings are working nicely before you lift your pelvis up off the mat. And exhale, take your pelvis down to the mat again. And we'll do that one more time. Pull your feet in toward your pelvis. Lift your pelvis up off the mat. Just find this fullness here. And exhale, take your pelvis down to the mat and release your left leg as you just draw your right leg in. So you get this nice stretch all the way to the top of the left thigh. Inhale, lift your left foot up as you keep holding on to your right thigh. Exhale, get a nice stretch here. So we're kind of working one of those muscles that really support the spine so nicely, the psoas muscle. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, draw it down. The foot doesn't have to land. Better that it doesn't, actually. Inhale, lift your foot up. Exhale, draw it down. Now bend your knee and plant your foot. And let's come to the opposite side. So hug your knee in. Reach your right leg out. Inhale, take your leg up. Exhale, draw down. Inhale, take your leg up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Bend both knees. Plant your feet to the floor. And one last time, a bridge pose where the elbows plant themselves, where your heart lifts, where your pelvis now lifts up off the floor. Now hold this pose here. So as you're pressing the head back, the heads of the arm bones back, you get this nice lift of the area of the heart. Nice fullness. Nice, easy in breath and out breath. And slowly take your pelvis down. Release your arms down with your palms facing up. Release one leg at a time. Today, we focused on those paraspinal muscles that support the spine. These muscles that we trust on both sides of the spine, we trust these muscles to keep the spine in its nice elongated form without any pulling of the spine to one side or the other. Bring your awareness to that side that you felt could use just a little bit more fullness, a little bit more strength. And breathe into it. Notice if you can feel the area around the kidneys inflate so fully. Breathe in very fully. And breathe out long. Enjoy your Shavasana. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.